Ninja? Ninja! Ninja!
Tonight's episode, That Was No Lady.
And I did not quite get it flipped over before it intro started or ended there. All right, so now we're off to the beginning of the show. This is a listing every series where we go around listing everything ever in a series of videos. However, tonight I'm doing stuff, so we're doing this in a special daytime edition. So here's the deal. We go live, and this is unscripted and unprepared, I guess. We have no idea what's going to happen. We go live, we take the video that we're in right now, and we open it. We edit the video in front of everybody, right? And what we're going to do here, we're going to be both open in front of everybody and have the poll going over on the other side over there. We'll go on to Instagram, somewhere else on my wide monitor here, and we're going to list every single Second Amendment or gun owners' rights group or 2A.org that's on Instagram. We're going to list it in the description of this video. Here's what's going to happen. Two things. Everyone's going to be amazed, and YouTube's going to freak out because they do not like it when stuff is listed going off YouTube at all. They definitely don't like it when it goes to Instagram. It's going to instigate them when I put a whole bunch of links in here to Instagram. But that's the sacrifice we make. I really don't care. But it is sort of an interesting thing. I don't think you'll see too many other channels do this. So thanks everybody for showing up to be part of the fun and the adventure of this whole thing. I threw a poll out there to see what the first people, the gooder of the people that show up, the first people to show up are always better, to see what you think about your favorite social platform. So far we have 3 votes. One is for YouTube, one is for guntube.org. I can't vote, but that's what I would vote for. And then the other one is other, please comment. So, got Gun Level Grandpa showing up, good afternoon. However, nobody commented. Somebody voted for other, but didn't comment. So does that mean it's a FBI plant? Could be. We'll have to find out. So lots of action and intrigue in today's chat. Let's get into it. We're going to head over to the Instagrams. Did anyone even vote for Instagrams yet? No. So this is unpopular. People don't like Instagram over here. Maybe there's a reason why YouTube doesn't allow people to link over to Instagram. And it isn't because of their policy, but because they know people hate Instagram that much. So here's the deal. We posted over on Instagram that we're doing this on YouTube. And we got just about as much ambivalence because people don't care about YouTube when they're on Instagram. It's almost as if there's a rift between them. All right, so how are we going to find these things? Well, here's one way, is I can go through my feed, I guess that's what they call it, timeline, the main feed on Instagram. Instagram is very simple. It's one of the reasons I like it. It's very simple. There's a way you can post, and it's a picture, and they've added a video. So you can either post a video a picture or a very short video. Below that picture, you can type some text, and it's quite a bit. You can be elaborate in there usually. It is possible to fill that completely. It's not an unlimited amount of place to type, but you can type a lot of stuff in there. And then once you post on your channel or your page, you're going to just get a feed or a series of all those posts that you've made. We're looking at the posts that I've made recently. These are chronologically going backwards. So if I click on the main feed, I'm seeing the people who I subscribe to. I'm seeing their recent posts. And this is some girl in Texas, and this is some girl, I think is in Arizona now, but she used to run the Cody Firearms Museum, so she's been invited to AMCon. So I'm going to put open link in new tab over here on this ammcon thing, and that'll take us to, I have no idea what this stands for, Alternative Mass Media Conventions. So there you go. Bringing together pro 2A and pro rights. They definitely consider themselves a pro 2A organization, so we're going to include them. And that's what we're going to do, is we're going to put ammcon in as the first one as a illustration of what we're doing here today, and the inaugural entry into the list here. I'm probably going to do them alphabetically, so they're probably going to be at the top for a while. And I'm going to put it in just how they put it. So if they put it in all lowercase like this to make it very difficult to understand what it's even trying to convey, I'm going to leave it like that. So it's up to them. All right, so one thing we can do is go through my feed and see the posts, how they randomly show up, and like this, harvest or data mine some links from them, like this ammcon link. Now, I don't know if I'm going to leave them show up on the screen here and have a whole bunch of tabs going or not. I am for now, because we have a couple of different things that we'll be exploring. So that's one way, is to go down my feed, and then this one is the Los Angeles Police Museum, for example. Now, do you count a firearms museum as a Second Amendment organization? Some people would. I don't. So I'm not going to include that. This is a gun shop in Austin. This is, I think, this is some dude. This is a girl that runs Dragon Man's gun shop. And, you know, would some people consider Dragon Man national treasure? Of course, obviously. Would you consider his museum like a Second Amendment thing? No, you can't. Sorry, even though it's amazing and it is awesome, it's not necessarily a Second Amendment thing. However, it is foundational for a community. All right, there's this link. I didn't link to nothing, so there's nothing to harvest from mine. Anyway, so we could go down the link. Oh, do you consider guntube.org a 2A organization? If you don't consider Dragon Man, you can't consider GunTube. Plus, the last time they posted on Instagram was 53 weeks ago, September of 2020. So I don't think they care about Instagram. So that's one path. Now I'm going to go back to the ammcon page. And another route we could take, a different way we could gather links to Second Amendment organizations that are on Instagram, would be to see who the ammcon follows and who the ammcon is following. And we could do that with other organizations, for example, Gun Owners of America. They might be following a lot of people, but there might be some filter in there that maybe some of the other organizations are at the top. Now, an alternative way would be anybody that wants to comment in the description of this video. Of course, feel free to drop suggestions or even links to Instagram channels that are Second Amendment organizations. So let's go with going down the live feed here first before we start exploring the ammcon. I think this one's going to end up being more lucrative, but we're going to just explore this until it doesn't exist anymore. Got Your Six is some kind of app. Well, they're 2A focused. They're not a 2A organization. Same with Utah Shooters. That's right on the damn boundary, but I'm not going to give them. They're not actually an organization. This is a gun shop. This is a place that makes cutouts of books. This is a guy that pulls out whatever you call them. This is the Army. This is another gun shop. This is another museum, another range, gun shop, whatever you want to call it, gun shop here in Tucson. The Well-Armed Woman. So, boom. Now we found an entire organization. I definitely would consider the Well-Armed Woman, even though it's not necessarily focused on 2A. They facilitate 2A. Now we got Gun Policy, which is Firearms Policy Coalition, so we're definitely putting them in there. We'll put them in there right before the female group, you know, because of chauvinism. And then again, they want to go with gun policy, all lowercase. That's cool. That's the way the kids do it now. That's teaching their English teachers. They don't need to use capitalization. And then we get the Well-Armed Woman, who, look, they understand that humans have to read words, so they put spaces in there. Are they smarter than these other organizations? Yeah. Are they more effective because of it? Probably not, because it's also, I didn't put the size of these things, so let's put the size of these things. So we have to go with followers. I think that's a derogatory word for somebody who's interested in a channel, but what are you going to do? So why don't we do this? Why don't we take the followers and the posts, copy that, put it in here, and that'll be interesting to compare. So now I have to go find Firearms Policy Coalition. Also, Firearms Policy Coalition is so hip and with it that they're like, you know what, let's call it gun policy on Instagram because the kids can keep up with that. So there we go. And then we got the ammcon, and they have, we're counting both their, where we're going to start including both their posts and the number of people who follow them. How about we put it that way? Follower sounds like, you know, a derogatory thing. Back in my day, if somebody called you a follower, that was like a diss, and you'd get punched for that. So I got to at some point start heading down some of these other paths. So I'm just quickly scrolling through followers. That didn't work. 700 because there's 49,000 followers. Clicking on following. Oh, snap. You know what? Riding Shotgun with Charlie is an individual, but he is also a Second Amendment organization. So is Gun Freedom Radio. You can fight me on that if you want. Same with, I don't know if this is the one Ken is using right now. Same thing with Laura. Pincus. Pincus. KB. Oh, I'm putting Armed and Feminine in there. See, this is the one that I follow, so I don't know which one he's using right now. I guess I got to put Ammo Land in there. Tatiana, I'm putting in there. Top Shot Chris, I'm putting in there. You know what? I'm putting Hash Tactical in there. Fight me. Gabby, I'm putting in there. NRA Museums, I already went through it. I'm not putting them in there. They got a lot of people that they are following that are hardcore. I guess it's because they've probably been to a lot of these places. I betcha. So let's see. We got the Well-Armed Woman shooting team. You got the Well-Armed Woman on Clovis. I'm guessing that's, I thought that was Clovis, New Mexico, but I don't know. Maybe it's California. You had various chapters of the Well-Armed Woman. I'm not going to put each of them in there. I'm letting the main organization count. Some of these training things and stuff, I know some people are going to fight me, but you know what? You can fight me on it. I'm not putting everything in there just because it's adjacent to 2A. Some things do enable 2A, but let's see. I got a lot of good stuff in this one. Well-Armed Woman's list of people they follow has been pretty much a gold mine. Of course, we didn't have anything to start with, so all of these are good. Or a lot of these are core that would have been in there no matter what. But they had a bunch of them in here. What do we got? Nobody's putting in any ideas, so if you're watching, feel free to keep watching. It's probably pretty boring, but if you'd like to participate, that's what it's all about. So if you use the Instagram and you know of organizations which are focused on gun owners' rights or the Second Amendment, then I encourage you to let us know so that we can include them in this all-inclusive list of every Instagram account that is Second Amendment, pro-Second Amendment, or actively working for 2A. Obviously, everybody's 2A. We're not listing everybody. We're listing the ones that go above and beyond and like kick extra ass, so that people can start following stuff that's awesome. So that there's a list of all the good stuff. And you don't have to go like what we're doing. List through a bunch of, let's just call it other stuff. All the stuff is probably fine. Nothing wrong with it. But they're not going above and beyond like some of these others are. So, we're whipping through here. And if I quit finding good ones, I would quit scrolling. Except I keep finding good ones. So at some point, I'm going to quit scrolling. I'm going to just quit scrolling. And now we will add a whole bunch of more in here. So Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Well, I guess I'm getting the idea that they automatically shrink everything down. So I'm going to start using this one. That'll be how people heard. QRST. So that'll go here. I remember how these alphabets go. Then we got that, and then we got his channel. I'm wondering if I can drag and drop that. We'll find out on the next one. So we're probably going to want to check out who Charlie follows because he's legit, just like some of these earlier ones were. FPC, they follow too many. So they've filtered down, they've watered down their following list to where it's useless for me. So I'm closing them out of here. Charlie is still 698. That's basically useless for me, but whatever. Gun Freedom Radio, 4,000. Come on. Come on. Didn't these people know in the future that I would need eventually to have a smaller, more filtered list for something I'm doing? All right, so now can I just drag and drop this stuff? It's going to make my life easier. No, YouTube is not going to let me drag and drop off of Instagram, and that's one of the reasons you can tell they hate each other. They do stuff like that. If they like each other, you certainly could drag and drop. All right, so there's Gun Freedom Radio. So normally I would say, oh, I'll bet you there's going to be a bunch of good stuff in here. Come on, 4,000. Come on. There's me. Look at that. There's me. There's Enrique, and there's Gizzard, and there's Smeggy. And then, oh, American Indian Gun Rights. We'll take that one. Well, we're going to not take that one. We're going to take Locked and Loaded, the podcast. So we're trying to get in there twice. Oh, Teresa is a good one. We already got Tony? Come on. We already got Tony, don't we? We're going to make sure we got Tony. The 2A Rally AZ, that's a good one. I guess they're putting up all the stuff that I already follow first, obviously. Look at how many of these I follow. All of them, actually. So, some of these, did I already got Rebecca in there? Come on. I think they already do, but we're making sure. What was this? What was this? This was a deal that only lasted a minute, I think. Oh, Georgia Carey. Now we're talking. Already got gun policy in there. If anybody wants to contest any of these, feel free. Did I already put, am I putting GunTube? I guess I'm not putting GunTube. I'm not putting GunStreamer. Oh, AZCDL. Yes, please. Again, the problem is they're on 4,000 of these. So we're just scrolling through ones that I even know of that I'm subscribed to. Oh, damn, Craig. Come on. Come on. Did we already get Chris in there? We must have. We'll make sure, though. Oh, snap. Chicago Guns Matter. Yes, please. See, I'm putting Marcus in here, too, because whatever. No, Black Guns Matter. We'll put that in there. Wow. They have a lot of ones in here that I am also subscribed to. Did they copy off of my subscription list? I feel like my subscription list was copied off of. Liberal gun owners. Yep. Oh, man. All right. Well, at this point, I've got to put gun for hire in there, even though gun shops don't go in there. Gun shops that sponsor Tony do. All right. So I'm putting Gun Freedom Radio in there. I already did. Boom. Next up, American Indian Gun Rights. This one doesn't have any posts. Where they remove their posts? I'm not sure what happened. But a bunch of us had been following this one. Things happen, so we don't know what happened with this one. I'm going to link to it anyway, just in case it does come back. I don't know why they took down their posts, but they had quite a few, and there's certain, what do you call them, demos that don't get 2A love or don't get a focus from 2A other than casually, so it would be great to see a native gun rights group. Let's see, so I got to put these alphabetically because I already said, otherwise this one would go in front because they're better than all these other ones. 900 followers. They got more followers on the Instagram than they got on the YouTube. What's up with that? YouTube censorship? That's what I'm thinking. All right, so there's them. Now they probably have a much more real 331. None of them are realistic. They all have too many people listed in these things. At this point, dang. I'll probably get in trouble if I don't put Beth in there, so I'll put Beth in there from Locked and Loaded, so that accomplishes two things at once. Yeah, they got too many in here too. It's their fault for having too many in here. There's Beth's, so we'll put towards the front. So yeah, some of these are individuals, but these are individuals that go around doing stuff all the time. And while they're not necessarily organizations, there are only like 10 organizations, and they suck butts. So we don't all suck butts, but most of them suck butts. So we're gonna make the list more interesting with people that are doing stuff. So that's weird to put her whole name, so we'll just do it like this. Oh, that's interesting. What happened there? Not getting a lot of feedback, so it's creepy to do stuff live when there's no feedback. So that means you're being creepy because I'm the one who's sitting here doing live stuff and saying things. You're the one at a live thing not doing anything. So you can feel free to sit there not saying stuff, but this dude said stuff, and now look. Their names went on the screen. You could be famous, or at least contribute to a conversation instead of just contribute to the creepiness of the idea that 6 people are sitting here watching me mumble in what's supposed to be a collaborative situation. So feel free to collaborate, be part of it. I'm getting more interaction with the mosquitoes in this room than I am with the humans that are allegedly on the other side of the internet from this microphone. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm saving it. Why? Because if you don't save your stuff once in a while, it gets all screwed up. The other reason you should save stuff when you're doing nobody else does this, but when you do stuff like this on YouTube is that, see what it does? It screws with the formatting because YouTube hates Instagram so much that it'll only accept it if it screws up its formatting. So every once in a while, you got to go in here and regroup these little groups together so that it doesn't become a complete mess whenever you finally do save it. So 2 reasons, always save your stuff. And if you're watching people that don't actually save their stuff or remind you to save their stuff, do they even care about you? Have they ever even done anything before, or do they just get stuff given to them by assistants and they got the gist of it and they get paid to give you the gist of it? All right, so next up is Tony Simon. So come on, man. We're gonna have to put him in alphabetical order, which is messed up because that puts him at the end of the list. It's messed up. Well, I'm going to put him in front of well-armed women because 1, women, and 2, that the doesn't count. It counts in Teresa, right? But it don't count in the well-armed woman. So that's sort of like cutting in line by putting the in front of there, in my opinion. And Tony deserves better than that. So there you go. Boom. Why doesn't Tony have a 2A4E? I don't know. He has his name on there, so he doesn't. He's a Marine. Can't expect too much from Marines. He didn't break nothing, I don't think. Next is the 2A rally. So am I putting numbers at the front? Yeah, I guess. I don't like putting numbers in the front. Numbers think they're better than letters, so they're often put at the front. I'm going to put them at the back. There you go. Now the well-armed woman isn't the last one, and so that's just polite. And site numbers are always getting first because they think they're so good. And they're not better than letters necessarily. All right. Well, I've now threatened and encouraged and supported, so now I'm just going to ignore you people. I'm just going to itch these mosquito bites and listen to a podcast or something. Y'all refuse to be part of an interactive podcast. It's creepy. It's weird. This is how you know you've got nothing but like ATF, what do you call them? Narcs, like getting paid by the government to watch your shit. I mean, I guess it works, but at least super chat my shit. You're using government money. You don't care about the government's money. That would ultimately piss a bunch of people off if you, I don't know, I guess it would make your people upset. So that's why they're not super chatting. That's another evidence that they're ATF narcs, because if they weren't, they'd be super chatting. 1,000, how am I supposed to get leads off of these when they're linking to too many people? See, what happens is they linked all the people I'm already linked to, so this isn't working for that angle. All right, so I don't know. Here's the deal. Why do I put the Complete Combatant in here? Well, I put it in here because of the thing they called the, what do they call it? The meat? What do they call it? The Mingle. So I put it in here because of the Mingle. And I don't think the Mingle has its own thing. So yes, they are firearms instructors. And yes, I've never gone to their classes, but from what I understand, they're competent and dynamic. In other words, they bring new stuff to the table and they incorporate what they've experienced and what they've learned. So from what I understand, they're competent instructors. However, I don't know nothing about their instruction other than what I've heard. But they do the Mingle. They've been doing that for a while. And that is, what is that? It's the evolution of 2A. So they definitely get included because of the Mingle, but then also they wrap the Mingle up in competent firearms instruction. And competent firearms instruction that isn't your typical recipe. So yeah, they're definitely in there for a couple of different reasons. Oh, but again, did they help me by narrowing down who I should follow or who we should include here? No. So we have all of these already. Pretty soon we'll miss out of your group. Yes. Something like this, it's tough. Let's go take a look. We're gonna put some kind of a filter on some of these. We're gonna restrict some of these if they're actually doing stuff, because some of these came and went. Is the problem? Can't include things just because they exist. They have to be contributing something, in my opinion, to be in the list of the best or the ultimate, or just be included. So we'll check out if some of these things still exist. A lot of good intentions don't get followed through on. So do we put in this? Oh, look at this. Moss has only 109. Do you think these are going to be valuable? Yes. So let's see who they are. Oh, shit. Let's put Oleg in there. Oh, snap. Oh, so. Where did you go? One of these things flew right up to my face. As if to say, man, I'm going to bite you and then fly right up into your face. Please bite me and get out of here. Keep coming back for more. All right, so a lot of his are industry, and then people he knows probably. So can't use everything there. But my debate is, do I put Masada Yub in there, or do I put in the Pro Arms podcast? So the question is the Pro Arms podcast on here? Pro Arms. Arms. No, I don't think so. So I'm going to go with Masada Group because that represents the Pro Arms podcast. So people can fight me on this anytime they want to, but Moss has more awareness of 2A than pretty much anybody, especially back in the day, at least firearms instructors and stuff. He was dead on right off the bat. And he's good to go. And I know him, so he's a good dude. Like, I've met him so many times that there's no way he's fake. And everybody says the same thing. But he was 2A before it was cool to be 2A. He was podcasting before other people knew what the hell that was. And he fell out of a fucking helicopter when he's older than most people are going to get. And he's still kicking and respected by pretty much everybody except for the people that are jealous of him. Or that think that, somehow like 9mm is better than 45 or something. It's an undefendable position. So we're going to boot Moss and then save this and then reform it. Because you see, YouTube censorship, of course, it has to mess up the Masada Ube link completely, messes up the Tony Simon link because of YouTube censorship, messes up the Complete Combatant link. All right, now we save again. Good evening, everybody. Listening on a quick break between customers. Verified real person. I'm pretty sure people know this dude. He's real. Then the comment before that was a span of 15 minutes, and it allegedly there's 11 people watching this. Look at this. This narc over here tells me 11 people. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 comments. I'm the 5th one. That means 6 government narcs. The people that do watch this should be pissed that the government is spending 6 overtime paychecks for people to watch this. They're that much of in fear of what we're doing over here. It's pathetic. So next, Oleg Volk. So if you don't know who Oleg Volk is, you're welcome. He's definitely inspirational to, I don't know if he's actually directly inspirational to the people on list or if they just don't know that he's inspirational to the people that inspired them or not. But this dude was making pictures on the internet before the internet needed to put pictures on it. And he's a Russian dude who appreciates individual freedom and property ownership and what all that represents. And he gets that across like a freaking one of them picture artists that you hear about, where they use their camera like some sort of a brush or a microphone or something, and they make art. And you don't even know how many pictures you've seen that are stole off of Oleg Volk. And the people that he photographs are sometimes his friends, but then other times like people that super instrumental in the world you don't even know. And yeah, super cool dude on top of all that. Very humble too. He doesn't even realize how much he's created. Then we got Guns Guide to Liberals. So let's see. If their last post was in the last 6 months, then we're including them. Their last post was August of 2020. So not including. Good efforts, but good efforts that just sit there. Just sit there. Success isn't an achievement. Success is a flow. You have to continue to do things. Let's see. So then we get this gun culture guy. A lot of people dig. So we're putting him in here. But I've yet to see stuff come from him, but he teaches some kind of school or something. I've asked other gun nerds to take a look at this guy, and the report back was, well, I don't know if I ever got a report back. So, anybody ever heard of this guy? Then let us know. He teaches some kind of class, I think. Some kind of school on 2A. And then we close that one. Oh, shit. Is this going to open? I don't know if these are, what kind of order are these in? Gun Culture and Rebecca. Oh, so it was Rebecca that I closed. All right, I think I got it back. So now we got Rebecca, and I don't know if she is already in here or not. No, so she goes in right before Charlie. I guess she's going under, she's calling her channel 1 Million Moms, or is she calling it her? I'm going to call it her. We're just going to call it her. And then one of the girls that's doing her thing plus putting stuff out on her social at a next level. Her and Teresa, well, I think her and Teresa and this other one that we'll get to are all kind of doing it at next level. Boom. So we'll start saving again. Oh, looks like I shamed a bunch of the ATF narcs out of here. Good. I don't know why people join on that interactive thing to sit there. All right, and then we get. Should I look at what she's looking at? Notice how many of these have Gizzard in there? Interesting how many people follow Gizzard. Would you have thought that that many influential people in the world follow Gizzard? It's kind of like if you put in 4 hours worth of effort every Sunday and then another couple of 2 or 3 hours every Friday and keep a continuing focus on the Second Amendment. It doesn't play off at all, but some people appreciate it. I'm putting Lauren in here because there's nobody else that I'm aware of that's paying any attention to EMS and the issues of EMS in 2A. Plus, she doesn't really post that much, but she's active in real life. IRL, they call it, on the gram. She follows 2,800 people. It's probably all girls. So I'm going to close out of there. Now we got Georgia Carey. This one is an actual organization. That's what it's all about. So should I put the organizations up front or just in here with alphabetically with everybody else? They're going to be in here alphabetically with everybody else. Because some of the organizations aren't even good. Georgia Carey is a good one. So some of them just exist because they felt some obligation to be on Instagram, but then don't do anything with it. All right, so we're putting in Georgia Carey. So state level organization in Georgia. I don't think I've heard too many bad things about it, period. So now we're going to see who they follow. 1,000 different channels. Tony Simon, Riding Shotgun with Charlie, Gun Freedom Radio. Chris Knox, Complete Combatant. Sedini, that gun culture guy. Ken Blanchard. Gunsmith Ray, Eric's friend. I don't know if they still hang out or not. Skip's Tactical, 1 Million Moms. Oh, we're definitely putting 1 Million Moms in here. That's what we're here for. Guns and Lawyers and Money or something, that guy, John. And to a rally, somebody, Incas, company, well, Battle Comp. I shouldn't just say company. Battle Comp is the shit. I'd really like to put them in there. They're a little bit too much industry, but damn, I would put Battle Comp in there for some stuff that isn't secret, but isn't public necessarily. So I believe they've done things to make SHOT Show better, period. Hands down for years. They've facilitated that, I'll put it that way. But it's not necessarily 2A, but for me, it made SHOT Show a whole nother amazing experience and definitely helped me out in many ways, which allowed some 2A to happen, but it wasn't specifically 2A. Everyday Civilian is a photographer, Wilderness Tactical, place up in Phoenix. I guess they're just showing me all the people I already know. So do we have Mary in there? I put so many girls, and I'm not going to put every girl I know in there. So Yankee, how did that happen? How does Georgia Carey following Yankee? It makes no sense. Empowered 2A, I'm going to look at them, but I think they're dead in the water also. Connecticut Citizens Defense League, that's what we're here for. I call Project Appleseed 2A. Fight me. American Suppressor Association, we're putting that in there. Parkinson Shooter, should we put Dave in there? I think that counts. And then we're going to put in VCDL, of course. TIG. So he's certainly empowering women and instructors and stuff, but I don't know. Save the 2A, the only organization even focused on the concept of helping the NRA to members to be aware of its own organization. Jeff goes around saying stuff all the time, but is he an organization? I feel like on behalf of all the dudes, I should include them, but if we're getting our asses kicked by the ladies, we got to acknowledge that the fact that we're getting our asses kicked by the ladies in 2A. Liberal gun owners, whatever, I already got them in there. Looking through the rest of Georgia Carey's list of things that they follow for stuff that's 2A or whatever. And Kid Safe, we don't have that in there yet. There's some industry stuff we're going through here, some probably individual people. What I'm happy about is hardly any fake sellouts in this list. So that's encouraging as hell. Growing up guns, what is that all about? All right, I'm getting down to where it's just been industry, nothing like organizations at all for a while. See some of these organizations I know for a fact help industry or help 2A, right? Like supporting them or whatever and helping them do things. But being adjacent to 2A is still just being adjacent to 2A. So maybe we'll do another one on industry we'll do another one of these lists in the future on industry that is facilitating 2A in a way. Like this girl is mean to me, but I'm going to put her link in there. Industry that is facilitating 2A and making 2A possible, because that's sort of not 2A, but it's making it possible. And then I imagine in that same list, you could have people that have their own companies that are 2A, right? Trying to support themselves with companies and have those companies in there, because that would be basically the same thing. Ugh, women's outdoor news. Something that has the potential to be 2A, but then doesn't do anything at all for decades to be 2A. I'm not putting them on a list of 2A, so no. Getting a bunch of them though. Getting a bunch of them, and see, a lot of these are individuals that have organizations, so I'm taking the organization over the individual. Oh, I didn't have it in there. And we got to begin towards the end just by the NSSF. Even though I don't agree with them, I'm putting them in there. Most of the time, I don't agree with them. Make a lot of money. Getting towards. Oh wait. Oh, I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people. I'm gonna put Yeager in the list. I'll piss off a bunch of people. Fight me. Yeager's more 2A than half the people, Do I got mail on? There's the way. That's the mail. It's 4 o'clock. We gotta be getting towards the end. We got Marco in here. Georgia Carey is following Marco. What's up with that? Why would they be following Marco? Probably because they think it's gun channels. That's what I'm gonna say. Bunch of industry, but every once in a while there was a good one stuck in there. I don't know if people can see the list as it's scrolling by. Oh snap, did I have the DC project in there? See, that's the reason I scrolled down, because we have good stuff still in here. If you can see stuff and you think I should have hit something that I missed or whatever, let me know. What is this all about? Got to do some IRL stuff, as the kids would say. Okay, and then I have a lot of them in this. There's a lot of tabs open. A lot of tabs open. Wow, they're following a lot of interesting people that I would not have. So I tell you what, if you're like, I'm new to Instagram and I don't know who to follow, you can pretty much go to Georgia Carey, and just judging from the people I've seen in this, you can almost click on anything in there, almost, and you're going to get something good. Oh snap, a girl in a gun. See, boom. Now I'm seeing South Narc in there twice. Instagram is thinking me around, so we're done with Georgia Carey. Excellent. Georgia Carey has impressed me in the past, and they impressed me right now yet again. Come on. What is up with this? How can this thing not have sent? You all heard me type it. Liberty Doll? Interesting. I'll put her in here. I mean, some people would say she's just like a news channel, except, nah, she even says right there, 2A. So, she's also got a baby. Boom. Liberty Doll. She's only following 300, so I'll bet you she ain't following a bunch of 2As. All right. right, so now we got that one. And we're saving it again. I don't know when the last time I saved was. Yours is messed up. Is that another text? All right, so there and there. And then, let's see who the Liberty Doll's following. Only a couple of people I'm following. And then straight up into weird stuff. Baby stuff, bunch of baby stuff. It's all baby stuff. She's a mom now. So then we get 1 million moms against gun control. Which is basically Mary's channel with Rebecca. But they both do their own channels, which are standalone. It's tough. So you know how I said I'm going to put numbers at the end? I'm putting 1 million moms at the front. We want good stuff up front. Boom. And look at that. They're powerhouse. They're posting a bunch of stuff. Now, they do cheat by reposting their own stuff. They post it on their own account, and then they repost it up to the big account. But that's called being smart and doing it for you. Using the social platforms the way they're supposed to be used as tools effectively so that you can compound your effort and be more useful. And working collaboratively, right, as a team. So again, if the dudes were doing it, we talk about dudes, but dudes suck at this and the girls are winning. They're only following 800. Let's take a quick look. So all of these I'm pretty much just going to wing through because I probably already have them in here for the most part, but you never know when you find something that one of them have that one of them don't have. It is possible that some people like other people that other people don't like and that kind of thing. So a lot of these are like organizations owned by girls. Not a lot, but some of them are. And some of them are ones I don't know. And none of them seem to be actual organizations, though, that we don't have at least. Casual and tactical, I don't know. Is that 2A? Because whenever it says tactical in there, it leads me to believe, let's sell you shit. Let's lean over on selling you stuff. Think about Clover Tech. You can't even listen to that guy without him trying to sell you clovers. All right, so empowered, let's see. If they're within the last 6 months, yes. August of 2020. So, you know, some people are 2A for a little while or something. They got good, you know, momentum or whatever. But you got to be around. You got to stick around. There's a lot of people that don't want you to stick around because then you don't see where the little steps are taken and where little pieces are left behind and whatnot, where things are taken advantage of when people aren't paying attention to the big picture. And, you know, it's easier to prey on people that ain't paying attention than people that are new. Let's put it that way. So now we got Connecticut Citizens Defense League, and I'm going to drink some coffee. So we're going to watch a commercial for, I can't play the commercial for DC Project anymore because they have illegal music in it. So we're going to watch the commercial for the best Second Amendment thing you can watch live each week. This week they're horking it and only posting stuff when they feel like it from interviews from the Solutionary Summit. All right, so now we get the Connecticut Citizens Defense League, and that will go alphabetically towards the top here. I guess they technically go after the Complete Combatant. And the goal here is to list every Second Amendment focused gun owners' rights group that's using Instagram and that has an account that's useful and active over there. Now, I'm probably talking too much shit, because if an account was successful for a while, maybe it was just a campaign, then it doesn't need to be actually active today. So I guess I shouldn't discount some of those that I've already discounted simply because they're not active today, because not everything needs to be active all the time, and not everything needs to be active today, right? So I might go back and put empowered back in here. And what was the other one? No, I can't even remember the other one. So let's just put empowered back in here. So empowered, from what I understand, is some sort of girl college thing. Some kind of girl college thing. You know, get girls in college to carry or something like that. Howard educates and trains and equips women of quote unquote all ages with the skills to advocate for their 2A rights. Gun rights are women's rights, but it was started and kind of focused on the people in school, the girls in schools. And I think that's one of the reasons it ended, is because, like all school things, the individuals who create it typically graduate, and even if they're like super active alumni or whatever, they're not students anymore. And if there's not another student, or if the organization isn't the kind to bring enough people around, you know, it's only going to last as long as the enthusiasm of the individuals can support it. I thought that's what kind of happened to it. But we're going to include it because they were active, obviously, for a while. They were involved with Gun Owners of America, and it's got 5,000 followers. Mostly follows, actually, quite a few gun owners things, probably. I was going to say, probably also just a bunch of girls. No, we didn't have Hold My Guns in here yet. Oh, and then a lot of political stuff, because she is very political for sure. So it's going to have like a lot of Republican and political things, a lot of industry. All right, so next comes Hold My Guns. Right there. We got this one in the list somewhere. It's coming. What time is it? My deal is I normally do this show, this series in the evenings. However, I got something to do this evening, so we're going to do this show in the daytime. And the idea is to list all these things so that normally we do it for YouTube stuff. YouTube really digs it when you make a list of a bunch of YouTube stuff to look at. When you make a bunch of stuff that's off of YouTube, they're not happy. When you make a bunch of stuff that's on Instagram, they hate it. They don't like Instagram. They don't like you putting dozens of links to things that take you to Instagram in your videos. This is not good for your channel. I would not recommend you do this. It's probably not good for the metrics or the analytics or the things that would be important to make my channel do well in the competition with other channels. So do not do this. I'm not recommending people do this. Now, you could do this on a website, I think. As a blog or something, this would be a great project. But I'm putting it here so that people have it, so that if you're going to Instagram and you want to find stuff that's interesting, here's a pretty decent list of accounts that you'll find are actually focused on 2A for the most part and active. And you also have a chance to, if you were to go through this and look at each one of them, look at things like how often and when they post, right? Like how often they post. Are their posts reactionary? Are they exploitive? Do they only post when they need something, or when they're have to, like, to say thank you or something for something that was given to them? Are they only reacting to the stuff that gets the most attention and that kind of stuff? Do they post often, like all the time, constantly? Like some of us just post too much, probably. Are they following so many people that it's some kind of game? Or are they following just a few people so that the people that they follow is a useful list for like what we're doing here, or a regular person? Do the people that follow them, is it a large number? Is it diverse? Is it a bunch of reciprocal stuff? When you look at some numbers of people who are being followed by a large number of people, and you start to look at that on a platform like Instagram, where you can see who the followers are. Like in this case, you see a whole bunch of people who, like for me, I see that I'm following, so I know those are legitimate people. You'll open up some accounts and it'll be sub for sub, click on me for links type of channels, and then that gives you some insight onto the channel. So, that's one thing. You can go through here and look at that kind of recon of the different organizations and people to get an idea of who's out there on our side, who the playing field is, or who's in the playing field, what makes up the playing field. That's what I said. So Project Appleseed is an education and skill set type of development. It's to offer marksmanship practice, some competition, I believe, and then history. They learn some history, book history as well. So it's not just simply firearms focused, although it's primarily firearms and marksmanship focused. It also requires more than just pulling triggers or buying some equipment. There's some actual participation and some education that's necessary. I think that's amazing. And it's so amazing that it pissed people off, and there's a whole nother organization that sprouted because of it. And we don't pay enough attention to things like this that are decades old, and I think they are decades old, and again, are in such of such interest, and so many people are participating that it's already splintered, which isn't always a bad thing. That allows for development and growth. So yeah, that kind of stuff is definitely 2A. It's also not NRA. Everybody's like, blah, 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 hate the NRA, blah, blah, blah. Don't do nothing about it. Just run around hating the NRA. There's an opportunity to support something. You can go, I don't like the NRA, but I support blah, blah, blah. Now people might actually think you have some integrity and might listen to what you have to spout off about. Or you start interacting with an organization that's useful, and maybe you don't have any interest in spending your time complaining about something that isn't what you're looking for. So now we got the American Suppressor Association, awesome organization. Back in 2011, they went to the technical, what do they call it? Technology branch of the ATF that was in West Virginia at the time. Walked through with their video cameras and showed us the milk crates, the what do they call, like the fancy lawyer milk crates full of files that were Form 4s and 1s, waiting for the basically interns to come through and approve them and stuff. So really interesting. They sat down and had conversations when the waiting times for NFA items were extremely high. They reconned and set the stage and began the necessary steps to create the Hearing Protection Act, which effectively was stopped with one act, exploited by the media, and completely abandoned by the firearms community. So awesome on them for doing what they do, and they are supported, and they use the support of the industry in an incredibly different way than some of the other organizations have done. They were some of the first wave of the new generation who think they're the new wave. The new generation started way back when these kids started wearing their beards like this, and they were some of the first of those beard wearers, the skinny pants beard wearers, whatever they're called, to start having effect, start doing something. And that was like in 2011. So anyway, they also were interacting with the industry in a whole different way. And I'm not going to say it's perfect, but certainly in a whole different way. And they don't get much credit. And that's where I would say that's their other side of them, is that what are they doing? Like, what are they happy to constantly be fighting? I would like to see them win. I'd like to see that owl put a knife in his other hand and start doing something besides just licking the lollipop or whatever. I mean, they're hard, but they haven't flexed in a while. Well, let's see who they're, at least in my opinion, let's see who they're supporting. Bunch of people who are legit and aren't wasting anybody's time for the most part. And then you get industry who are legit. You get people who are respected and legit, and more of that. And then you get politics, because they're politicians for sure. Trump's son is on their board or something, so you have to have some politics in there. You got some big time industry. They also bring together hunting. looks like. And then they've got some shit that I'm not going to mention because I'm trying to be nice. And then we'll end it there. So yeah, they've got a lot of potential. So then you get Dave, and I don't think we have much participation or representation with any of the differently abled of anything, whether it be anything really. And you know, there are sports and stuff, but no one's doing anything about that. Not that he is, but anything differently abled needs to get included in more support, in my opinion. Sort of like the same issues with hunting, or not hunting, well, I guess same issues, but same issues with education, with college, Carey, and stuff like that. You can't, it's difficult to keep people who aren't involved or, having us, what's the word, an intimate relationship with somebody, what's the word, no, having it in, what's the word, like whenever it's not happening, if it doesn't affect you personally, then you tend not to pay attention when it's not a massive campaign or whatever. So that's frustrating because we definitely all know people that have differently abled, and then everyone has the potential to become differently abled at any moment, either temporarily or permanently. And it's too late when they say, if you think of it strictly selfishly, it's too late after something happens to you to start getting all complaining about things aren't good for you in your new state of situation. So we'd be better off to have more representation for sure. And our Paralympic team barely even got any attention at all. Unfortunately, they didn't win nothing. They lost to China and stuff, from what I can tell. But it's really difficult. There's this one girl that I don't know if she'll come up in my list or not because she's been on vacation or whatever, but she did a great job, in my opinion, of explaining. Shit, should I put Paul in here? Is he doing stuff? I'm going to put Paul in here. But anyway, she's done a great job of explaining shooting sports in general, but also the Paralympic shooting, because it's even weirder. It has some weird letter designations. So they don't just say like standing rifle or women's archery. It's like P5 or G3, it's like got some code, some sort of European metric way of saying the Olympics. So anyway, she deciphered that, and then I've been watching her channel because of that, and she does a great job of just including folks. Let's see when the last time Paul posted something. Oh shit, hours ago. Is he just getting married or something? What's going on? So I guess I look in a bow tie, groomsman at my cousin's wedding. Okay. So Paul's a good guy. He's been doing stuff for a long time. We hooked up years ago. He's a Marine. But still, we hooked up when I first started doing gun website stuff, and he was dealing with his, shit. And he's done all kinds of hardcore shit over the years. So yeah, I'm going to throw him in here. Hold on. I'm going to throw him in here just because he's kicking ass and very similar to Dave, just a good representation for differently abled folks for whatever the situation. Enter. So he's calling himself wheelchair technical now. What's he been posting? He usually posted shooting stuff, so I quit following him a while back, because he was mostly just talking politics and shooting stuff. All right, so next we get the vcdl.org. So we're just going to put in vcdl. They'll come in towards WTUV. W. So it goes in here. Seriously. Goes in there with, look at all them followers. This is everything you want to see in a 2A organization, in my opinion. Well, maybe not. It's half the stuff you want to see. They only have 68 posts. They might be manicuring their posts, but it doesn't look like it. So they just don't post a lot over here, but they do stuff like this. Bam, getting giant Hunter Orange buses to drive through their capital when they were prohibited from having their rally. And then they organized it where people were parking and getting arranged and and orchestrating like basically the drive-through rally. Awesome work. They do their monthly meetings online live. They're just kicking butt as far as a state level organization, and considering they're the inspiration for, as far as I understand, they're the inspiration for every other state level organization that came along after the state and rifle pistol associations all started at the turn of the century. Mid-century when these guys came along, maybe the last 40 years, 50 years when these came along. Holy shit, has it been that long? Then all the other organizations kind of followed their lead. So their Instagram is okay, I guess. It's not that good. But 6,000 followers and 150, 102 they're following. Like, to me, that seems like they're either not paying attention or they're only following people that are valuable. So it looks like, just from the list, they're just following individuals. So that's interesting. Maybe that's members or people that have commented. I'm not sure. But it looks like mostly individuals. So I was going to say it would be cool if that was just like 100 organizations. But all right, so now we get Save the 2A. When's the last time they posted? January of 20. So they're basically dead in the water like some of these other organizations. But for a minute there, they were the only ones focused on NRA and what members could do to be aware of their own organization, or people from the outside could understand that something constructive was being done. That wasn't just a let's be the unpaid Bloomberg mob against the NRA. So since that one's a very small organization and they barely did anything on Instagram and they only intermittently ever do anything anyway, I'll bet you their list will be interesting to look at. All right, so now we've edited a lot of that formatting and we'll click save again. So let's see, they're only following 18 accounts. And it looks like it's probably people they know. Oh, Armed Equality? I don't know if that's just an individual doing stuff. Oh, Gunners of America? Snap, I don't think we had them on the list yet. And Second Amendment Foundation, we also did not have them on the list yet. NPR. All right, so now we got Gun Owners of America. You ever heard of them? This Gun Owners organization that started from the Gun Owners of California. They started in 1975 and now are, depending on how you want to consider it, the second largest or third largest gun owners. I'm going to put them here. Third largest national level organization. They're behind Second Amendment Foundation and NRA for sure. However, they're also behind NAGR, which nobody pays attention to. They're dwarfed by NAGR. And they're behind NSSF. And most people don't know what NSSF is or don't count it as an organization, but it's SHOT Show and industry coordination, so they're definitely 2A. But let's see, Gun Owners of America only follows 251. They have 272,000 followers, and they have 500 posts. So now I changed my mind. This is the epitome. This is the ideal of what a 2A organization is. So they're not following everybody who's a member. That would be impossible when they've got 5 million members. So instead, I'm guessing these are 251 channels that are doing something. Let's find out. And then obviously they can't control how many people follow them, but it's a pretty good indication that it's not being paid for. Those are people that are enthusiastically behind the message here. So it's great to see. I doubt that they even pay for one follower. And 545 posts is not just cool because it's 545. And yes, their 545th post should have been something about the 545 ammo ban. They're not paying attention, and that's indicative of something. But whatever. They do have 545 posts, and that's pretty cool. Let's see who they're following. So Cheryl Todd, Tony Simon, the content creator formerly known as Budget Guns and Gear, Crump, the 2A Rally, KD. None of these people are even GOA at this, except for Crump. None of these people are even GOA. Jared, Ammoland. Oh shit, Nina, who was half of the hell do they call their podcast? Half of the podcast with Empowered, and she's a lawyer out of Colorado. Then you got Chris, and then you got official Black Guns Matter. Then you got Carey Girl Gear. I don't know why that one's in there. She makes T-shirts. Then you got Gabby. Then you got Empowered. That's the other half of that. What's the name of that podcast? Then you got Rifle Dynamics. No idea why that's in there. VCDL. Then you got this Red October shoot. That's probably in there because they sponsor it or something. Then it's like industry. Oh my God. Industry sellouts. No, 251. It's a listen of gun rights or women's rights. So that's just another version of Antonio's stuff. A bunch of, I guess they got to suck up to people. So all these people that are such 2A activists, they're constantly talking about 2A, which is frustrating. But I would not use their list to consider good YouTube channels. The first part of it's good, and then it gets pretty shitty. Then it gets into pull-out politics and lame stuff. What was that? Oh, VCDL, we already have that one. That's interesting. A couple of the Vegas machine gun things. We'll have to do one of these series on gun shops for sure, and then maybe just one on machine gun rentals or rental guns. That would be interesting. So Gun Owners of America has a good ratio, but I would not recommend following everything in their list. Only the good stuff in their list. Let's see. Then we get Second Amendment Foundation. Let's put them in here. So Gun Owners of America, 272,000 followers. Second Amendment Foundation, which is a larger organization as far as income. I don't know, probably the number of members is about the same. 16,000 followers. So a factor of like they have like 5% of those followers. In fact, I'll bet you Gun Owners of America gets more viewers on one post than Second Amendment Foundation has on Instagram. Second Amendment Foundation doesn't follow anyone. Fuck. And then 33 posts. So they obviously don't use Instagram or think Instagram is worth using. It's only the social media platform after all. Nobody uses it. QRS. So Second Amendment Foundation. Put that in there. And then somebody could compare the different big ones. That would be a shorter video, but it would be interesting to see where these things lie next to each other. I'll probably make a little graphic or something at some point. With this data, you can't use the data unless you buy something off your website. You could go to our news stores. In fact, I just dropped a link earlier. Do I have it open somewhere? We then got these posters over at the place, and I got one of these posters in the mail because I wanted to see what they look like or whatever. First off, we got them priced at just $19.34 or 84 cents, so $19.84, right? Boom. They look awesome. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm an expert poster maker at this point. I wasn't sure because sometimes when I print stuff, it looks shitty. But obviously, there's a lot of pictures in there. There might be one or two goofy ones, but just generally looking at it, it came out way better than I thought it would come out. So if you're interested in a graphic version of all the stuff, well, some of the stuff that we've been doing over at the Minuteman University or on our 2A history project, some of the information we put into this poster, and there's a link to it if you want to buy it. What happened here? Go back to here. There's the link. Let's see. If you haven't heard, Brady campaign put out a tweet today trying to blame Ace Hardware for somebody defending himself in Wisconsin, claiming that they sold them the thing. Okay. No, I haven't seen that, but those are the kind of tactics that are used when somebody's trying to screw with you. Let's see. So Second Amendment Foundation, we got them in there. Not following anyone, so I can't use much there. Their last post, of course, was the other day. So they do understand what this is, but I guess they just use it to say, like, I'm going to let you be the judge. All right, so then we get the Kids Safe Foundation, Derek. Let's see, GHIJK. Yeah. Boom. Then My only complaint with his name is that there's something else called Kid Safe, so it always comes up hard to find in the searches. There you go. Let's see. He's got 2,000 posts. What? And 3,000 followers. People following his channel. He's following 1,600, so he's going to be following way too many people to get anything good out of, I'm guessing. Machine Gun BB. That's interesting. Wonder if he did some shooting with her or not. Oh, the Minnesota Gun Caucus. We don't have them. Keystone Freedom. We didn't have them. All right, I'm going back on that. We're getting some good stuff. Oh, Guns for Everyone. Snap. All right, we're getting good ones out of here. 2A Gaming. Ugh. I'm going to put it in here just to harass them, but they're going to bring it on themselves, obviously. This dude is subscribed to Yankee. That's interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm going to put Craig in here. I got these other people. Craig should be in there. See, sometimes it's difficult. Do you put in, oh, see, here's Guns for Everyone. What was that other thing? Oh, look at this. These aren't even opening. Oh, yeah, here's that. Some of these, I don't know if I should put the person in, or like Antonia, or Empowered, or put in Empowered, right? So I'm going to put in Empowered because she does more than one project, like KD. Would I put in KD, or would I put in Aiming for the Truth? Well, I'm putting in Aiming for the Truth. Oh, snap. So here's parking. Oh, no, I already got that. Just, but again, we're looking at a lot of ones we already had, I think. It's got 1,600, so this is going to take forever. Did we already do ammcon? Yeah, I think that was the first one we did. All right, well, I'm going to close out of this one. A lot of good ones on Kid Safe, though. So Aiming for the Truth is a project of KD's, but for me, I think that's an important one. So I don't know how he divides them up, but he can make his own list. I'm putting it in here as a separate deal, because I know he has more than one project, and if he wants to separate them by Instagrams, I think he'd agree that this is more, well, I don't know, actually, if he'd agree that this is the more 2A of them. But this is the one that I think of as the more 2A compared to the training one. Of course, he would probably put the train and learn event under no other choice. I would have put it under Aiming for the Truth, but I guess I'm not charging his project. All right, so then we get the Minnesota Gun Caucus. For some reason, they don't. Why are they not showing up? Is that just my bad internet? Have I even been connected this whole time? Yeah. So there we go. They do a lot of stuff, and I'd say I'm going to say it would be interesting. I don't think enough people know about them, but I'm going to go ahead and say that they're better than FPC in some ways, as far as getting their message across. FPC is okay, but they're a little too weird. Even I'll acknowledge that they're too weird. They get super weird sometimes, and that's fine. I'm not scared of being weird, but weird ain't the message for everybody all the time. Minnesota Gun Caucus never gets weird. They're uptight and whatever that's called, uptight. But because of that, everything is nice looking. Like they pay more attention to what stuff looks like. It's tidy. Does it get the message across? I think it gets the same amount of information across, but doesn't piss people off. So I'm giving it, they're better than FBC. You can fight me. Let's see, they got 1,600 people that they follow. Let's see. Oh, Bloke's 2 cents. Remember that guy? Why would they be following that guy? It makes no sense to me. This is just a whole bunch of weird shit. I don't know what this is. This is probably, I'm just going to assume it's weird Minnesota stuff. Although none of it's fishing stuff, it's still, I don't know what it is. So don't know what any of that is. We're going to go save this though, because we've been doing it for a while. Here we go. So what, the tool is a firearm? Well, the idea is it's the same way as when they wanted to go after drunk drivers, so they would go after the bar, who facilitated it. It's a tactic to to distract and to make your opponent have to fight more than one direction or more than one thing at a time. So I wouldn't give it more than the necessary time of day. The only thing interesting about those, in my opinion, is how we can use them. The more often we use those as an angle to attack them, flip them right back on themselves, the less often they are to use them until they forget that we can do that. Problem is, we forget we can do it too. So one of the things we can do is focus on all the 2A organizations that are doing stuff and keep aware that there's a lot of people constantly working, and we're not bored, and we're not communists, so we're going to be doing that inefficiently and ineffectively, and we're not going to be spending our monies perfectly. But we can potentially learn from what we're doing and be free to do better next time. So I don't pay attention to news of the day unless it's like urgent, but you won't see any of my shows focused on it. And I'll pay attention to other people who focus on news of the day and take everything they say with a grain of salt, because unfortunately most of the people that focus on news of the day put way more weight on it than it's worth and it's needed. So I prefer to build infrastructure with projects like these that enable whatever's next. So Guns for Everyone versus, I guess this is Gun for Everyone National, and that would be versus Guns for Everyone. So I'm going to put them both in here because technically they're doing different things. Or maybe I'll just put this one in here. I don't know. So, Guns for Everyone. I'm going to have to put it at the end because of the S. Should have made it plural. Should have said Gun for Everyone, and you would have been further ahead in the alphabetical listings, but whatever. So let's see. Basically, Guns for Everyone is free CCW classes in Colorado. And I guess that wasn't good enough for them, so they decided to make it national to certify firearms instructors and operate national competitions nationwide. So they go around making these 3D print competitions, I guess, and some other things. Now, do they got patches? Is that what we're seeing here? So I probably want to get some of them patches at some point. Looks like they're just giving them to people at the Solutionary Summit. So I'm going to put them in there with Guns for Everyone, because Guns for Everyone is older and obviously a different focus. So let's see who they are linked to. With 173, we might actually be able to scroll through all of these. And it looks like a bunch of people we already know and we already have in here. And then a bunch of industry stuff and some news people. It's like a magazine or two, and nothing else organizations. This guy's ornery though. Edgar doesn't like playing reindeer games, so he probably only links to some people. There's certain people. All right, so now we get to 2A gaming, and that is supposedly the Second Amendment Foundation's kid. Alan Gottlieb's kid is running the 2A gaming, which was supposed to reach out to the gaming community and offer an outlet for Second Amendment stuff. And they brought this up at Chicago, 2018 Gun Rights Policy Conference, so 3-4 years ago, however long that is now. And let's see when their last post was on the Instagram, April of this year. So April of this year, the post before that was August of 2020. So they post about once a year. The post before that was July of 20, and their first of 6 posts or whatever was January of 20. So, yeah, again, we're going to list it in there so that they can try to explain why they didn't do anything with it. Let's see. I think that's got potential. Locked and Loaded, doing more with their version of it. But even then, it's still got way more potential. There's lots of ways you could take 2A and gaming together. Sponsorships of stuff. What do they call those things when kids get together and meet and do physical stuff? The opposite of that, when they go online and just wiggle their thumbs together. Those kind of competitions, right? Why isn't that kind of stuff being done with 2A? Boom. Nobody is interviewing game developers. about how they figure out their video games. And if they do, it's just in some exploitive way to sell video games by some loser. So next up is the opposite of a loser, Craig. So Craig's one of the tough ones. Do I do one of his other projects or do I post Craig's? So as an individual, Craig's got a lot of stuff going on. As a 2A advocate, he has, he's accomplished a lot and he's actively involved in quite a bit. I suspect because of his experience and his openness to help people, he's probably involved or has been, I'm sure he has been, but I'm sure he's actively involved in helping people, doing things, getting things done. However, he also does quite a few different projects. I think this is more of his personal page, so I don't think it would do anything to his credit to point to his personal page. So, all right, that didn't work. I was going to go to his website and see whatever. So I'm going to have to open that. There we go. Open that and see who he's following. Maybe get to, I don't know if he has his different things like Coffee with Craig as a separate channel, or if he just goes under FPC, or if he's just helping Florida Carey. Oh, look, we got to get Rick Hector here. How can I not be following Rick Hector? Yeah, he's just linking to a bunch of humans, like people he knows, I think. So I don't know who to connect with Craig. So I guess I'll just connect to or link to his main page, and some people just have to figure out for themselves that this isn't the basic guide to do it yourself. You got to go figure out how awesome Craig is on your own, I guess. So put that in there, and there, and there, and there, and there, and there. And then just to keep it consistent, we'll put this in. Even though I don't think this is much of an indication of Craig's projects as much as his personal account, so I'm a little creepy going straight to his personal account. Now I think I overdid this one, so now I have to. Is that how you do it? Yeah. So I'm putting this one in here, but I'm not going to say anything. She's just mean to me. Let's see where we put it at the end. So not everybody in the community wants to do awesome shit and help other people. Some people just want to be mean to people. So put that in there. Oops. Now, close that one because we don't really care who supports or who's supporting mean people. And then we got Rick. So good. Now I'm following. I don't know how the hell I was not following Rick. I'm going to say that Instagram unfollowed me somehow. So that'll go CD there. I'm putting him in as Detroit CCW because that sounds cooler than Rick. Sorry. And then also put some closer or higher in the list alphabetically. So if you don't know Rick, he's been around a long time, longer than YouTube for sure, doing stuff in real life before YouTube made it cool to do stuff in real life. And just recently, unless I hear otherwise, I'm going to go around saying he trained 4,000 ladies in Detroit in one weekend with the help of a lot of people. But he got to a system over the years. He created a system that facilitated bringing people together to train 4,000 ladies in one weekend. Effort. Excellent. Man, it's just extraordinary effort. Above and beyond. And people don't even know who Rick Hector is sometimes. Let's see. Then we got Diana. So another superhero. So we're going to put her in as Die 3 Gun. And it goes here, I guess, right after Rick. And then obviously the starter of the founder of the DC project, and the person who keeps it going, bringing 50 ladies together to meet with representatives, change the face of gun ownership, literally. So she's following 1,300 people. That's not going to help us probably. She probably links to a bunch of her girlfriends, because that's how girls are in their social platforms. But we'll see if maybe there's some 2A organizations that we don't know about already that are in here. Thing is, she's also a competitive shooter, and she does stuff otherwise in the industry or whatever. So yeah. Oh, Richard, or Real Dick Heller. Let's put him in there. Look, she's got a link to Ted Nugent. That guy tried to kill me one time. So she's going to link to a whole bunch of like famous people and competitive shooters. So I'm going to quit looking through her list. Yeah. How come Diana was never on Top Shot? Is it because they're sexist? They were scared. All right, next is Real Dick Heller. So we ever heard of the Heller decision? That's this guy. So we're going to put him right after. Boom. And he's just a regular dude, so he's got 19 posts and 200 followers. Only 200 people are like, oh, the guy that's the Supreme Court decision that made constitutional carry and, or not constitutional carry, but carry and whatever, and the right of the Second Amendment is the individual, like that guy, whatever. I guess I'm not following him either. So let's rectify that. Now I am following him. So he doesn't post a lot because he's just a regular dude doing his thing. Am I on the wrong channel? Like, how can I not be subscribed to Dick Heller? It seems weird. So let's see who he subscribes to. 550. I bet you those are people he knows. Because he seems like the kind of dude who would just follow people he's met before, right? He knows. Or wait, does he follow me? No, see, he doesn't even follow me because he doesn't know me. PA2A, I don't think we got them in here. I think we already got Chris coming. Oh, AAPI. That's who we don't have in there. James Kaleda. What? We don't have him yet. So yeah, we're finding quite a few in here that should be in the list that we don't have yet. And that's coming from the guy who decided to stick with it and go all the way to the Supreme Court and change the perception of all the anti-gunners on what's actually constitutional definition of that part of the second where it says the well-regulated militia, comma, or whatever, that part that they took to mean the militia, which wasn't invented till like 70-something years later. That interpretation was taken away from them permanently because of this guy's fortitude and how many different organizations say that they were responsible for it. I think Second Amendment Foundation is the only one that can claim it, but obviously it's a team effort. Oh snap, we didn't have NRA in the list. A whole bunch of people just had a conniption. They just had a fit. I'm adding NRA to the list. Can you believe that Dick Heller is subscribed to the NRA channel? Oh my goodness. All right, we're done. I'm done looking at that list. So now we get pa2a.org. I met this guy before. And I'm going to put it down as pa2a official. Is this regular dude minding his business decided, well, I can like spend a bunch of money following football around or whatever they do, or following some band around or whatever they do, or buying a bunch of money on cameras or whatever, and then, you know, turn that into a lucrative YouTube situation. But instead, this guy's like, you know what I'm going to do with that time and that money? I'm going to get my own ass from Pennsylvania to Arizona to check out this thing called the Gun Rights Policy Conference. Now, did he know it would be the last Gun Rights Policy Conference to ever take place in real life? No, he didn't know that. But he took advantage going there instead of buying a bunch of crap or wasting his money on other crap, and is kicking some butt over there. So let's see, we got 223 people following him. His last post was September of last year. So have we lost another 2A advocate? Hard to know. So let's see. I'm pretty sure, did he go to the 2A rally in 19? He's on that side of the country. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Look at all these 2A rallies he's attended, documented. There's one thing about going to a 2A rally and being one of the people, and then there's another thing of going to a rally and documenting it. You know, you can take a selfie and then, you know, got your little virtue signal that you went somewhere, or you could take pictures like this that document the event for all of time and then post them on a platform, unlike Discord, where they're hidden from everybody, but instead on a public platform where they're available to all, tagged and in a project like this where the context can be appreciated and, you know, offer more insight than just a couple of lines of text somewhere. So here's an indication of what kind of scale they got to. And yeah, they haven't posted in a while. So have we lost them? I don't know. I hope not. But I can't tell you how many people I've seen with valid, grassroots, ambitious, valid projects that have come and gone. And we'll not let them disappear into time. But I'm also hoping that we can change the way that the dynamic goes. Is it do large organizations care if the little ones come and go? The things that people throw at the NRA for its callous neglect of the small organizations, doesn't that apply to the medium-sized organizations? How can an individual, I know he spent his own money on these patches. Nobody bought these patches for him, and I know what patches cost. This guy bought his own patches and gave them to people. He gave me like 3 of them, I think. He gave these to people, and he has this bench and stuff. You think this was to make a bunch of money? No, this is to give people the kind of thing that is necessary to start conversations and to show support, through visual support for, part of an organization, part of a movement. That's what it's all about. So let's see, 21 followers. Let's see who he was following. Patriot in the Dark, Glim Tech, Black Cat, the artist, the content creator formerly known as Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Himself, I think, is that one also. Armed and Feminine, Yankee. Live, Gun Owners America. Other people I've sort of heard of. Georgia Shooting Connection. That's just people. So, regular dude, real people. So, next is what are they? I don't know how this stands for. Asian American Pacific Islander Gun Owners. So it's way too much for me to say. APIGO, that's how I'm calling it. Just like Strategico, except now it's now APIGO. So I don't know whether they hey, let's make it impossible for people to say it. They took the lead of ammcon, so I'm going to shove them up here by ammcon with impossible to say. Is that an acronym? I don't even know what that is. Anagram? I don't know what that's called. But for their credit, I don't know what the hell to call them either. So I'll think about it and mansplain an answer for them of what they should have called their organization in the future. But we're looking at one of the newest, if not the newest organization I'm aware of. And again, Asian American Pacific Islander Gun Owners. So I don't know. I guess that's a separation that's made now. So I don't think we're going to say APIGO, because that's another way to say it. APIGO. But they got a web. No, they don't even have a website. They must have a website. Every other website. They have a link tree, which is a thing that Clover and them like, where it puts all your links on one little thing. I don't know if I'm down for that or not. And then this is their website. So you can learn more about it. But this is one of the, like I say, if not the newest gun owners' rights organization on the market. So that's pretty cool. And you can go be a member of them on Instagram. Let's see, are they using it? They put this creepy, who is this? This was Lady Elaine or something like that. Just a super creepy show we had to watch when we were little kids. And this was just the other day, 6 days ago. So they're posting. Well, they're new, so they have to be posting. What are they going to do? Are they going to be any good? I don't know. We're going to find out. 87 posts. They're following 1,600 people. It's going to be useless to us. Let's go find out. We got all these. We got all these. We got all these. Then it turns into a bunch of stuff. I don't even tell what all this is. Just people, I think. Well, some of them aren't. Like a girl tactical. That sounds like a thing. A lot of these just sound like people, though. So I think that's just maybe they're linking to the, you see, some of these organizations follow everybody that's a member of them, and it's not useful for people like us that are trying to work all kinds of data off of their Instagram. So it's rude, but whatever, we have to deal with it. So then you get James Kaleda. So here's the deal. There's only a couple of good podcasters in 2A ever. Locked and Loaded Latinos is the best one right now. And then in this order, Gun Owners, Gun Freedom Radio is the second best. And then in order would be Ride Shotgun with Charlie. So that's the order of them right now. But if this dude was still doing them, he'd probably win. So he's better than everybody ever that's ever had a podcast. And here's why. He would have a person on and he would say, this is the podcast. I'm sitting here with XYZ. Thank you. And then he would shut up and let that person talk. And that had to be some of the best podcasts you can get. I guess he got all mad because he's in New Jersey. He's very much like Tupperware. We have a Tupperware now, replace this guy, except Tupperware is in Ohio. This guy was in New Jersey, and he got kicked out of some thing, and he didn't like it. He got kicked out of like some kind of, what was it? He doesn't say on here, but this is him getting kicked out of like some sort of presentation, some sort of a what do they call that? A testimonial to like a local government board, like not a school board, but something at like the local level. And he got kicked out. I think it was at the local level. It might have been at the state level. Anyway, he got kicked out for being out of order. And that's why he calls his podcast the Out of Order podcast. And for a while there, before Charlie was doing it, Gun Freedom Radio was doing it, but they did short, little, tiny podcasts back then, and they talked too much. So their podcasts were good and inclusive, but they weren't good, exhaustive research into the person, where James offered that. So got me a lot of insight, learned so much for the 2A History Project from this dude's podcast. Since then, he's just like a weird dude that drives around living his life, being interesting, and he's pro-gun. And I think he lives on a bicycle or something like this. So totally different alternative style of stuff. I'm pretty sure he's still 2A, but you know what happens when somebody's 2A and gets absolutely no support forever? So next we get the NRA. People hate the NRA because somebody who is in competition with the NRA told you to hate them, or because the news told you to hate them, or because Bloomberg couldn't pay you enough to hate them. So you decided that since Bloomberg couldn't pay you enough to hate the NRA, you're going to hate the NRA for free for Bloomberg? It has to be one of those things, I guess, because it seems to me like a member organization should be able to be changed by the members, especially since it's already been changed by the members numerous times over its existence. It seems like an opportunity to do something. At the same time, there's no organization getting 47, 80,000, 62,000, 56,000 hits on each of their platforms. So if you don't like their message, change their message. But if you don't like their message, why would you want to crush our battleship or sink our battleship? Why would you want to knock down our largest pile of stuff? So they subscribe to 1,000. They have 2 million followers. So what are you going to do? Hate on 2 million people that follow the NRA? And then they've got 1,000 people, 1,100 that they follow. Let's see how useless this is for us, or useful. So the NRA follows Teresa Inneker. Awesome. Tony Simon, Gun Freedom Radio, so Cheryl, and Skips Tactical, and Kellyanne, Armed and Feminine, Amaland, Mike from, what is he from now? Something Suppressors, Dead Air Suppressors. Top Shot Chris, Gabby Franco, and Antonia, except it's Empowered 2A. What the hell is March for Our Rights? American Suppressor, so American Suppressor Association. Rifle Dynamics, how come they're in everything? What do they do that's 2A? Why is Rifle Dynamics in all these lists? Got Dave, Parkinson Shooter. They got their own museum. Caltech, makes sense. Then a bunch of people who I don't know. It'll be a lot because it's 1,000, but I'm looking to see. Oh, USA Shooting. Okay, got a good one. Otherwise, who do you think these are? Like big supporters, fancy people who I just don't know who they are? That says Senator somebody. The Daily, Black Hills Ammo. I know what that is. Some of these are industry, I can tell that. But you know what? The NRA doesn't support a bunch of 2A organizations, and it kind of shows in their list of shit that doesn't include any 2A organizations. They include some 2A activists, some hardcore ones that don't support them necessarily, at least don't go around and make a big point of it, but don't diss on them, I guess. Anyway, yeah, NRA. Hate them just because like Bloomberg would pay you to hate on them, but you're going to do it for free. So March for Our Rights. I don't know what the hell this is. Is this political? I'm closing on it. USA shooting. Right. Is this 2A? No. But we got to give more appreciation and awareness to our competition sports, or we're just idiots and we're literally shooting ourselves in the foot. So we're putting USA shooting in here. If they're not political, I suspect they're not political because no one's asked them to be, and they've never seen the advantage in being political, but I don't know that they're not political. So again, you can fight me. You can make your own list if you don't think USA shooting should be in there. I put it in there. So are they so good? Nah, because I don't get them. They're weird. But let me say, they're our competition sports. Let's see who they support. Howard Lights, the NRA, Live, whatever. Student Rifle Program. Student Air Rifle Program. Interesting. Tatiana, Top Shot Chris, Gabby, Franco, not the other one. Shot Show, Industry Range Day. I'm putting that in there because it is an Instagram account, but you will easily debate me that it's not 2A, because SHOT Show is not 2A. Then it's a bunch of industry, which makes sense, I guess. Hinsdale College, I've heard of that before, but I don't know what it is. Oh, Rock Island Auction. I would like to call them 2A. I know that they would probably support 2A things if 2A things were in front of them to support, because they seem like good people. And then I don't know what any of these other people are. So we're done. USA Shooting, no, it's done. So SHOT Show Industry Range Day, where are we going to put this? I guess I'll put it under I. I'm going to save real quick once again. How long have we been live? It'll be going, I'll cut it off at 2 hours. If we're not done in 2 hours, then that'll be enough, I guess. HI. I don't know if we got a poll going, so I'm going to go change the poll in a second here when we're done doing Industry Range Day. Boom. So now I'll save this again, and I got a format. Then we'll go take a look at if I got a poll going or not, and we'll set up a new poll. Because even though you people aren't interacting that much, sometimes a poll is interesting. Let's see, so we're getting this pretty good formatted. Good. Is this list too long? Is this too much for you? This is too many channels to link to on Instagram? You only like to follow a few channels? Here's the thing, you can link to all of these, and then as soon as a post bothers you, you can unsub to them, and then you feel powerful and like you got revenge on them. But until then, you can be amazed by most of these and intrigued by most of them as well. All right, so now we're going to go find this video, which I think is going to be easiest to find this way at this point. Find this video, which, okay, sounds like I got words going. So what is your favorite social platform for following 2A? Looks like all of you people voted for YouTube. What do you know? A bunch of YouTubers voting for YouTube. Typical. Nobody hardly ever even voted for Instagram or Gun2, which is the best platform. And then some people voted for other, and we'll find out if they actually left a comment or not. So now we're ending that poll. 22 votes, though. That's pretty awesome. So it looks like a bunch of regular people showed up and then left, because there's not 22 people watching that show. Let's do another poll, and that is going to be more meta. It's going to be more in relation to the actual thing we're talking about. Is a list like this one of 2A IG accounts useful? So it'll be yes, I will use it. Yes, for some people, which is a way of saying maybe for other people, but not me. And then no, not for most, which is like, eh. And then, of course, not. All right, boom. So curious to see is a list like this one of two-way Instagram accounts useful? And then you can answer that question with the rest of the community. Boom. All right, now we'll go back to the list over here and back to editing the list over here. So for those that are picking us up, hour and 50 minutes into a 2-hour video, we're listing every Instagram account for organizations and some individuals that are pro 2A, pro gun owners' rights groups, and mostly channels that are still active. There's been a couple in here that have been active but did good stuff while they were active but are no longer current, and we included just a few of those as well. But most of these are current accounts that are actively focused on 2A or provide support or awareness for Second Amendment issues over just like guns in general. So now we're going to Industry Range Day, and let's see who they follow. Gun Freedom Radio, Laura AZ, Laura Evans, but then Tactical Photographer, that makes a lot of sense. He's a well-known gun photographer. Pincus, Howard Lights, Everyday Civilian, another well-respected gun photographer. Monkey, Mil-Spec Monkey, Tactical Photographer, Everyday Civilian, and SMG Lee. Boom. That's your godfathers of photography, even though Everyday Civilian's like a little kid. He's way younger than me. They're all the grandfathers of SHOT Show photography. So, of course, Industry Day at the Range is aware of them. I don't know why they don't have SMG Lee in here. It's because they're assholes, I guess. Then you got Ammo Land, Keltec, Car Call, some kind of podcast that's been off the air for a while, I think. Shoot Like a Girl. Holy smack. Shoot Like a Girl is on Instagram. You think that girls aren't on the internet, then you don't know nothing about anything that's going on under here. You're going to learn. Let's see. Then they got some more stuff, bunch of manufacturers. Do we already have Gabriella up here? I think we do. NRA Family. I'm not putting all the NRA things in here. The hunting organizations, that's interesting. I'm not calling any of the hunting organizations 2A anymore, but they used to be, and they could be, and they should be. So we're going to mansplain, probably do a bunch of hunting organization lists in the future too. Because there's a bunch of them, and they should all be mansplained about how they should be more 2A. Again, because they are the ones that saved hunting lands, they saved species, they saved wildlife management. They've saved all kinds of stuff in the past. And of course, we don't remember that and hate them because they're FUDs now and blame them for things that they didn't do. Let's see. So we're definitely seeing a lot. Oh, do I have NSSF in here? I don't know if I do or not. No, I do. We definitely see a lot of industry stuff, which I guess makes sense since it's an industry event. And we're not going to find too many 2A things with anything NSSF because NSSF don't care about the Second Amendment. They only care about our industry. It's kind of their only job, I guess. So Shoot Like a Girl. Holy crap. I wish these things told you how long they've been on. But Shoot Like a Girl is one of our oldest female organizations. I don't think we're going to be able to get down to the bottom. But just a bunch of girls doing their thing. And even though there's a whole bunch of other girls doing their thing, you know what? There's room for other girls to do their thing. So a lot of girls will go, there's no girls doing their thing. And that's just because they haven't looked around and seen all the tons of girls doing stuff. So Shoot Like a Girl is older than most of them. I don't mean like grandma way, but like the organization is older than most of them. And most of the other organizations, I didn't even know they were on Instagram. So I don't follow all of them because it would be creepy. So let's see when they're last, 4 hours ago. So, oh, they got Deb Ferns on there. I'm not following them, but I'll still give them credit. Deb Ferns was mean also. So, boom. Bam. There we go. So, we'll close that one out. Oh, snap. I should have seen who they were looking at. It would have probably been a bunch of girls. All right, so now we got NSSF, who thinks they're so good because they run SHOT Show, but are they 2A enough? No. They constantly scold gun owners for stuff that we've achieved. Makes no sense to me. So NSSF can suck it until they start paying me to tell them how to mansplain it. I'm going to just mansplain for free, I guess. should do their shit better. But yeah, they're over there being whiny all the time. But bigger budgets than everybody. Well, even bigger budget than Yeager. So there you go. NSSF. Let's see who they follow. They have 19,000 followers, which is weird. I wouldn't think they'd have any because they don't do anything good. 500 posts. Let's see how many of these are dumb. You can make up your own mind. And then 853 that they're following. Cheryl Tutt, Mike Sedini. Let's see, Skips Tactical, the EDC guy. I'll give him credit for that one. He's pretty good. Pincus, Kellyanne, Three Gun Maddie. That's interesting. It's the first time I've seen her, I think, being collected on. Then you got Tatiana, and then Top Shot Chris, Ashley. I guess that makes sense. Then you got Gabby Franco. You got their own range day. NRA museums, Scottsdale Gun Club, and a bunch of manufacturers. Let's see, the Well-Armed Women Shooting Chapters. I don't know if we got them yet, so I don't think so because it says I'm not even following them. So we'll hit that one. They got the DC Project and the NSSF, so that's good. Food for Hunters. See, that's why I really want to do another one of these for hunting because there's a lot of good hunting stuff happening. That isn't 2A, right? But it doesn't need to be. It's different. So, yeah, a bunch. Oh, A Girl and a Gun. Do we already have them? I'm not sure, but we're going to make sure we got them. And yeah, there's been a lot of them in here. Have you guys seen Crispy's Instagram thing? This is a good opportunity for me to do that. I'm going to just open a new window. I don't know if you know who Crispy B11 or 11B is, but he's this dude, and he did a crate challenge, except those are crates of 7.62 by 51. So I thought that was pretty cool. So he's not really 2A though. We'll probably do one of these on military accounts though. So in the future we'll do a listing of all military accounts that are good. But they're not going to be 2A because for some reason military accounts act like they're 2A, but none of them are 2A except for Yeager. Well, he's not military. Then we got Kid Safe. So there's been a couple in here that they're paying attention to that are good. Project Child Safe. Oh, did I pass wind for like an hour because of Project Child Safe was mentioned? My bad. All right, we'll close out of that one because I'm disgusted by Project Child Safe. So next we get the Well-Armed Women. Let's see if we got that one in here already. It's been so long I don't even remember. It looks like we do not. So I wasn't following them for some reason. Okay, because I don't like their posts. So I have followed them in the past, and it depends on how often they post because their posts look boring to me. They're not that 2A. They're more like girls carrying, which is fine, but it's not my style or stuff. So it looks like their thing though is that they get girls together to shoot and have fun shooting. So they're not really 2A, but because they're girls and they're not included in the community enough or whatever, then they become 2A. Like they have to be 2A. Like they're obligated to be 2A. So we get 2A activists out of them for free. But actually, they put a lot of effort in. There's like there's activities happening all the time, and can't be 2A if you don't even know what the community's about. So they bring people in, and then they become 2A. I'm not convinced that that doesn't happen. Does that make sense? Let's see. Kingpin, did I hear my name in any of these lists? No. Is my IG page still showing up? I don't know. You got a link to it? I voted for GunTube. Right on. GunTube is a good one. That was the actual winner. Oh, you guys just saying hello to each other. Online college. Thanks. 19th thumb. Thank you very much. Like the NRA, don't agree with their message. That's valid. Boo. I'm not out of order. You're out of order. Exactly. Let's see. I follow everyone that follows my YouTube on Instagram. I don't like Instagram anymore. I agree with you. I don't like Instagram. I use it, but you know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you very much. Those would have been probably some of the last ones. Can't really do patches anymore now that we don't have a patch machine, so very few of those going to be on the market anymore. Let's see. All right, so then we're back to, I already saved it. So we're good to go there. And should we look at who the well-armed woman shooting chapters is linked to? What do you know? Cheryl Todd. Beth, tactical medic, that's here in Arizona. Oh, well-armed woman must be in Arizona. Laura Evans, fairy gunmother. She's another shooter, kind of a professional shooter, I think. Kellyanne, Rob, Amaland, and you got Krebs. Krebs makes more sense to me. Yeah. And then you got Gabby, and then 2A Shooting Center. Interesting. That's in Albuquerque, isn't it? Or are they more places than that? Bunch of individuals. Oh, FSA. Protective. No, that's not. There is FTA or something. Yeah, FTA. So if I don't see FTA in their list, I'm going to go find FTA, because that would be a good one to include. Because remember, we're not necessarily finding all of them. We're just finding ones that are linked to by other people. So that's not all of them. That's just the ones that we were able to get because of a referral or whatever. And I don't look at every one of these because it takes too long. And they start to goof us. Instagram will resend stuff. It'll never let you end this list. It'll never find the end of the list. It'll just start sending other ones back up through the list. So FTA. That is FTA Protect, but it's spelled differently. So this is an interesting organization of firearms trainers. They're not brand new, but they're pretty new. So I'm going to include them because even though they're not 2A, I don't know of any other organization that's trying to create some sort of consistency among educators. And if they can create some kind of an association of firearms educators, I would hope that Second Amendment advocacy shows up as a curriculum or a topic of curriculum, or an area of expertise for an instructor to, be an expert in. So, or an expert to focus on. A girl and a gun. Let's see if we already have them in here. Just forgetting that. Nope. See, we didn't have them in here. Yep, we did not have them in here. We'll put them first after 1 million. So a girl and a gun is a little different because they bring ladies together in large numbers to train, to learn how to do things, be better marksmen, be better educators, be Second Amendment advocates, from what I understand. So in that respects, they're kicking butt, 400 women at a time, and I don't think most people know who they are. So unlike the well-armed women, which have monthly gatherings that are smaller, but like 3,000 gatherings a month all around the country, small groups of women getting together regularly. Girl and Gun is large groups of women getting together annually, different organizations, different goals. I don't know if there's much overlap. So in spite of those two organizations and things like DC Project and everything else, every single day you can watch a video where some female is saying that there's not enough representation of females in the gun community. So there's obviously more and more room for them. There's Crispy's channel. We're not going to put that in here. So National Association of African American Gun Owners, I think National Association, or is it just, I don't know. I don't like it when they don't list the letters in their thing. But anyway, 2015, largest organization of gun owners, African Americans, and like at some point going to be doing a national level national yearly annual meeting. Hasn't started yet, but will after they figure out how to deal with all the gathering type of situation or issues. But almost started and would have been a contender for everything really, because they got issues with new FFLs, new training, disseminating all kinds of info, and then 2A at a different level. There's an SSF again, and we could have seen who they were looking to. So I'm going to put Yeager in here again. People are going to get off this. I don't even follow him, but I'm going to put him in here. Right after Kaleda. Like I say, people don't like to admit it or acknowledge it, but James has been done more for more people than anybody will acknowledge. which people go learn, get educated from James, and then walk away and go, oh, it's cooler to talk shit, so they just do. But since he's not seeking it out, he doesn't expect people to credit him for everything he's done. Done a lot of fucking shit. And there. So, and focused on 2A in a different way than other people. So yeah, he's probably not 2A in the same way that some people are, but more time in the game and with intent. He's not accidentally 2A. He's doing exactly what he intends to do with it. Let's see. Then we get the DC project, which I'm putting up here under D. So they get close to the front as opposed to the T. And then they're following 281 people, which I'm guessing is a lot of their delegates. But we might find some organizations in that list as well, because a lot of their delegates host organizations or founded or run organizations. Cheryl Todd right at the top, Tony Simon right at the top. Mom at Arms. I think we've already got Mom at Arms coming, but we'll make sure. Lauren, Beth, 1 Million Moms, we got them. Gun Policy, we have Gun Policy in here, right? Yeah, there's already bitching about their dumb name. Laura, we got 2A Rally, which I don't know if we got the 2A Rally now. We do. Pincus, Kellyanne, Mary, Tiffany Johnson. She wasn't. I didn't include her because I can't include everybody. I don't think I've included Tatiana either, just because you can't include everybody. But obviously, these are all girls doing amazing stuff. Then you've got Chris, Ashley, Gabby. A bunch of them we've already looked at. Now we get to ones that are blue that I don't follow. Looking for mostly organizations, but again, we're going to see a lot of individuals in this list. Looks like it's cool to see a lot of the girls' organizations are featured in this list from the DC project. So they're woke to their own history on whose shoulders they stand. I am gonna quit looking because I think I'm not through. So Mom at Arms, did we already put Mom at Arms in here? Mom at Arms is sort of research and, oh no, we do, okay. So Mom at Arms would be like research and investigative insight into, oh snap, is my description getting too long? My description's too long. Dang. All right, well, it's over. That's how it ends. So Girl in a Gun, AZCDL we missed. How I Carey is a girl doing TikToks, basically. Girl Carey TikToks, let's put that way. Then you got Craig, again. Top Shot Chris. I don't think we ever got Chris in here, but we mentioned him a bunch of times. If he would have worn a decent shirt, then maybe we would have got him in here, but whatever. Then you got Chicago Guns Matter. I'm kicking shit out to get Chicago Guns Matter in there. I'm going to kick out Paul because he won't care. He's not 2A anyway. Oh, snap. Look, that's literally how close we were to having being over. So I'm getting rid of Paul, putting Chicago Guns Matter in here. So here's what Chicago Guns Matter is. So you're sitting here going, oh, the Heller decision. An individual took his case through all the different stuff up to the Supreme Court with the help of some other people. But an individual had the fortitude, the interest, and the inclination to do all that. Named Dick Heller, right? He gets it up through the courts. We have the Heller decision, the first Supreme Court case in a long, 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 long time. And it tells the world, the country, the other side, the right of firearms as an individual right, not some kind of weird collective right. Then you have, well, where is that right allowed, right? Where is that right able to be used, right, or whatever? So that gets into like where you can own your guns. Can you carry them? Can you not? So then you get to Chicago, who says we can't have shooting ranges. Actually, you have the missing one in between there. But then you get to Chicago saying you can't have shooting ranges, and that's where Rhonda comes along. And she comes along and says, no, we should be able to have shooting ranges. And then that goes to the Supreme Court. And now the Supreme Court tells the city of Illinois, or the state of Illinois, city of Chicago, yeah, you got to have shooting ranges. And because of Rhonda, right? So now, and the help of the Second Amendment Foundation. So then Chicago is like, yeah, we'll get around to it. Well, they never get around to it. So a couple of years later, she takes a court case right back to the Supreme Court, a second case to the Supreme Court to smack Chicago around. And then when that was successful, a second successful Supreme Court case, Second Amendment Supreme Court case, which basically tells the city of Chicago, you better listen to her. Instead of just sitting around writing a book and being famous and getting rich off of it, she creates Chicago Guns Matter to create a list of how you, like a checklist on how another person could do that in another location for their situation, right? So it's saying we're having trouble saving your video. We were sorry, we're not able to save your video. It's YouTube censorship. You're watching it censor me. So what, am I still even on air? Is this even legal? This is way too many YouTube or Instagram links. They do not like it. So I'm going to try saving one more time. We're having trouble retrying in 5 seconds. This is YouTube censorship at work. All right, so I guess you're only allowed to have 5,000 something characters in your description because YouTube's a bunch of jerks. And somehow I've managed to jam more than 5,000 characters in here. So guess who's getting removed? I don't know, you. So now we'll try saving that again. Oh, look, that took it. So I guess if you're mean to people, then you don't fit in YouTube. Amazing. That was not me. That was YouTube suggesting that I needed to remove that one, and then it was accepting it. So that's not me. That was YouTube. And so that was Chicago Guns Matter. Happy to cram that one in there. Definitely an amazing story. And Rhonda Ezel is awesome. You've listened to her interviews on places like, has she been interviewed with James Kaleda? She might, but definitely with Riding Shotgun with Charlie and with Gun Freedom Radio. Definitely worth your time. She's fun and cool. Then you get Marcus, so Santa shooter, made a book. He happened to be wearing a Santa suit when he had to defend himself. People made that a big deal. Instead of working off of that, right? Instead of becoming rich and famous, he wrote a book, used the proceeds from that book to create a thing called Redeem Detroit, where they offer skills trades to kids in Detroit. Air conditioning, refrigeration, plumbing, heating, or I guess plumbing, electrical, and that kind of stuff. The trades. Awesome stuff. So it started with 2A, but adjacent to 2A. So he's not on the list, but doing good stuff. Real life good stuff. Other real life good stuff, Black Guns Matter. Maj taking firearms education awareness to just basically kind of fast on the street type of stuff. And very impactful, has free get-togethers where seminars, I guess, where people show up and no range time, but like orientation and familiarization with firearms in communities where no one's ever taken that step before. So doing amazing stuff, inspiring tons of people, doing things like the Solutionary Summit just a couple weekends ago, bringing people together to open people's awareness to solutions to issues instead of just being aware or regurgitating frustration about issues, offering solutions and then discussion about the various solutions and how they might be applied in different ways. So definitely like boots on the ground effort and making like raising $1 million, whatever you want to say, like crowdfunding $1 million to make that effort possible. Just interesting, inspiring stuff. So he doesn't get on the list, but he doesn't probably need the help. Liberal gun owners. So didn't get on the list because we didn't have enough room because of YouTube censorship. Also, they're kind of dicks. They don't do nothing. They act like they were supposed to do something good, and then they just don't. So they're great for liberals. They love each other, but they don't try to reach out, as I can tell. Gun for Hire. He helps support Tony Simon and stuff, but he also has got his own business, and he's doing fine. So we're not, we didn't get to link him, but he's adjacent to 2A. He definitely supports and facilitates 2A. Now you get Reverend Ken Blanchard, who is one of my inspirations. He's been doing stuff since the early 90s, focused on Second Amendment and awareness and bringing people aware of the 2A fight in a more diverse way. I don't know, it's a shitty way of saying it, but like in a way that wasn't NRA stereotype boilerplate. And unfortunately, that makes it, you have to say the word diverse because it wasn't NRA lockstep. So alternative 2A platform since the 90s. He's experienced and experimented with all the different means of communication since literally an author and podcaster, radio show host. Worked for CIA, I think. So definitely a lot of experience. More than one channel, so you can follow Ken on more than one project that he's working on. Again, he's just should have been in the list, but YouTube, Spencer, how much room I got. Laura does a lot of work. She's affiliated with different organizations, DC Project, and other organizations I can't think of. So worth watching, but it's also an account where it's like a personal account. So as much 2A activism as she does, her IG account is more of a personal thing. Pincus, well, he wasn't on the list fast enough, so he didn't get included. People hate Pincus. People and Pincus and Yeager are basically the same. They do stuff, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Some people hate them, some people like them. If you have people that are bland and everybody likes, it's wrong. If you have people that only are divisive, then you're wasting your time. So having a couple of things that don't fit with everything else is worthwhile. And since they've both been around for decades succeeding, it's hard to say either one of them is failing, although neither one of them is going in a direction that everybody loves constantly. So anyway, he didn't get on the list. Yeager did. KD, he's on here with Aiming for the Truth, but his personal account didn't get on here. This dude loves the Instagram. So if you're a fan of this thing because you like Instagram, KD is definitely one to check out. He's constantly live, smoking cigars and saying stuff. It's not always Second Amendment focused, but it's always gun focused, pretty much. Every once in a while, he just has some fun, but most of the time it's gun focused or Second Amendment focused. Kellyanne is all over the place. She does stuff on YouTube for sure. It looks like her Instagram is active 2 days ago. So she's competent and professional, and she's doing her thing. So she doesn't need any help over here. Of course, I would have been happy to include her if YouTube censorship didn't make me limit the number of things. Otherwise, that's a good channel. Riding Shotgun with Charlie's already on here. We already mentioned Ken Blanchard. This is just another of his channels. He's a reverend, so he's got some that are devoted to like motivation and awareness and suicide prevention, that kind of thing that you'd expect a life coach to offer. But he's also like a beginning musician. He's sharing his experiences becoming a musician. I think he does that on separate channels. He's also got sort of a meditation / motorcycle channel where he has different things going on with motorcycles and stuff, and probably more channels that I'm not even seeing all of them. AmmoLand supports people who support 2A. I don't have much to do with AmmoLand, so I think their reputation stands for itself. Tatiana didn't get in the list. She's an individual, an instructor, but she's a powerhouse. She's been out there for a long time doing her thing, member of the DC Project and other organizations. She's doing a podcast with Kim, I think, that's new. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's on my short list of things to check out. You got Chris, again, if he would have worn a decent shirt, he'd be on the list. Then you got Tactical. She didn't get on the list, but she's also not active anymore. She was active for a long time. She was instrumental in educating people on the tactics and skill sets of Instagram. Additionally, using her impressive ability on Instagram to support Southern Californian 2A efforts. Like just the epitome of kicking ass on the internet. And unfortunately, like a lot of activists, gone. Like, they were there, effective for a while, and then gone. We got Gabby, who's awesome. International competition shooter, constantly challenging herself and going further. Top Shot athlete. In other words, she was on the show Top Shot as a shooter and did well. Doing all kinds of awesome stuff. Represents different industry stuff. She's always got an awareness of 2A. She comes from Venezuela, shot for this country of Venezuela as well as other entities, and brings experience and an attitude that's unmatched. Gabby is one of my favorite 2A people, period. So is she not on the list? I would actually bump something off of the list for Gabby. So what are we bumping off the list for Gabby? Let's see. Empowered 2A hasn't done anything in a while, and is GH is really close to where Gabby would have been. So let's So Gabby Franco is going in place of whoever I just kicked off. I might remember. So copy and paste. Oops. I can't imagine anybody being a better ambassador for shooting sports or guns in general than Gabby. I'm so happy she's on our side and that she's part of the DC project, because often you see somebody's an excellent resource, but then they're not being utilized or something, or like they're paying attention to something else. Like Gabby is awesome, and she's focused on our side. She's freaking one of the reasons that Biden could only do what he could do, literally. Like if you had a bunch of different people showing up for the, like not the people that are there, but a whole set of different people, it doesn't matter what they are, but if they were all the same going into the DC project, it wouldn't be the same as having folks like Gabby, who is unique and, like I say, motivated at a level that others aren't. She's an international competition shooter and still kicking ass. Definitely one of the favorites. Then you got Gabrielle Hoffman, who's a member of other organizations. So, and sort of like some of the male podcasters, she does her thing and then she's focused on 2A, but you can see she does other things in her podcast besides just 2A stuff. So if somebody had to get kicked, I guess that's one. And then ammcon is all over the place. They're already in there. And then that's it. That's just my Instagram feed again. We are done. It is a little over 2 hours. If I end this in the next 40-something seconds, we're going to end it at 222, which is technically a caliber, but it's also just a bunch of twos in a row, so that'll be pretty cool. That's the video. We do these once a week on Wednesdays. We go live, and unapologetically in front of everybody, we create a list of whatever it is. In this case, it was every Second Amendment gun owners' rights organization on Instagram that's worth a crap in a list on the description of this video. So if you use Instagram, you can check it out. If you know people that use Instagram, you can copy and paste it or send them this video, whatever you want to do. And then boom, they got a list of all the decent ones, at least whatever we could fit into the 5,000 characters before YouTube started to infringe and censor. If I can end this, we'll try to end this at 222. Thanks everybody for showing up, watching and listening. We'll be back to pick you up later. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.